Oh, hey, everybody.
Hey everybody, welcome to TFT, Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with
Mr. O.
and me, Banshee. And guess what? It's
Goth Tarot. And that's why Banshee's here joining me. It's the first of the month where we begin our new round of shadow work for the entire month of January.
Yay! Well, we should feel good about that. We should feel good about doing shadow work. It's healthy.
Absolutely.
And I have my new Goth Tarot mascot here. Actually, it's not new. We've had this one. I just thought it'd be nice to bring to Goth Tarot.
So in this first episode, we outline what we think is a major shadow work consideration for us during this month. And we use a specific tool for that, the Cries of the Soul's Oracle. Thank you.
Yes, The Cries of the Soul's Oracle by Isabel Surf, and it's illustrated by Daphne Sabani. Daphne Sabani, I'm sorry, Daphne is an A at the end. All right, so let's get on with this.
So working with the Cries of the Soul's Oracle, we are going to determine what shadow work we should be focusing on. This would be considered the dark shadows. What is haunting us this month?
And I'm going to let you shuffle. Here you go. And I'll cut them.
In addition to this deck, we also use one other tarot. It's the Erethereal Shadow Work Tarot. And that will supplement what we're getting from the main card. Here we go.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
I think I saw that.
It's Betrayal.
Betrayal.
This is such an irony because it was my card for the collective on Monday. And
with a different deck.
With a different deck, an oracle deck. It was my oracle card of the day. And I said it had very 10 of Swords-like energy. And well, this looks like 10 or 3 of Swords type energy so far. So let's take a look at what it has to say. What number is that again? Number 41. All right.
And of course, shadow work topics can be very personal, but they can also
be collective.
Be a collective shadow, a shadow that exists over a nation or a group or type of people, or even the world, perhaps.
Betrayal. And what's the affirmation? I'm just going to say it right now. I trust the outside world. So it almost does sound collective a little bit, but maybe not. Okay, the wisdom is, and remember, this talks as if it is your shadow talking to you. I first appeared when you were disappointed by a person who was supposed to be loyal to you. I'm a cause of great inner pain that makes it very hard for you to trust in other people. You see them as dangerous manipulators and want to protect yourself, which sometimes drives you to lie and manipulate in turn. You prefer to be the first to attack so as not to be hurt again. When my presence is too strong, you remain in a state of constant suspicion and vigilance. You make you make assumptions rather than asking clear-cut questions or really listening to what other people have to say to you.
And one can clearly see how this easily can translate between the personal and more collective things. It has much to say about our cultures, our politics, everything.
The way nations are treating each other now, all of this. And I feel here, it's really interesting how it says that, you prefer to be the first to attack so as not to be hurt again. And in a sense, that's what we're seeing here. Each is, in the collective realm, like in social media, each is wanting to attack the other, be the first to throw that sword, and it keeps going back and forth like this. And also, it's easy to feel betrayal because there's so much misinformation out there right now. Everybody takes stories uh, at face value rather than looking into them more and making assumptions based on what they're seeing rather than basing it on what may be true or not. Oh, this is just such a timely card in
People who
so
may
many
be
ways.
afflicted more so with this shadow and possibly in certain leadership or other types of roles can do a lot of damage when they can't really resolve the sense of their betrayal, or it's very much, something malignant that's happening within them that makes them feel this way. We like to think that not all of the world is scheming to betray the other half of the world, or whatever that is.
And now let's take this on a more personal level as well. When you are betrayed, I think in terms sometimes too with this message, the way they described it here, of incidents of child abuse or domestic violence. For example, if people who have been abused in their past sometimes themselves become abusers, that's because of the betrayal they experienced. They can't, there are many people who rise above that and become, the parents they wish they had rather than the parents that they did have. But some turn into those, abusing parents.
And that cuts kind of quick to me, knife intended. I didn't suffer that I'm aware of, childhood abuse or neglect in any major way. But as an adult, I did confront a severe sense of betrayal from a group of people I was, involved with. And it did make me feel like I needed to lash out. And it took me a long time to put all of that in a better spot for me to deal with.
So, an interesting card we start with. Okay, so what is next?
Next are the dark whispers. What it is that we need to know more about this whole thing.
Okay, and it's the supplement section in this book combined with a tarot card. I lock you away in a prison in which other people can only be perceived as bad. So there is no point in trusting them or revealing yourself. You take no risks of honest and authentic sharing, of being moved, impressed, or enchanted. You manipulate out of self protection, which gives you a feeling of complete power and helps you pacify your narcissistic faults. It may hurt other people, but you tell yourself that they're looking to do the same to you. And you might as well strike first. This really, if you look at what's happening on social media, and I have to agree, sometimes even I get frustrated because it seems like sometimes there's just no talking to people. They just don't want to hear your side of things or accept your truth. But yet you must accept theirs or you are the enemy. And that is what's happening here all the way around, we see this very clearly. And so all of our personal relations are affected by what's going on here in the world. We have people who avoid Christmas and holiday dinners with family over having to face arguments and differences of opinion and people trying to push their agendas on others. It's really a sad
This one really cuts close to me because I encountered all of that in that event that I referred to, and you just want to win.
And remember, when you've been hurt and burned in relationships and somebody exerted power over you, it may be hard for you to ever trust again. So, and open your heart again.
Boy, that one rings true as well. All right, so what else do we need to know? What other dark whispers are out there? We will use the Erethereal Tarot for the remainder. Go ahead and shuffle. We're just doing one shuffle. All the other tarot cards we pull to supplement the main reading will come from that. And the Erethereal Shadow Work, I will admit, is an AI design deck. I didn't totally realize that when I bought it, but I get really good shadow readings from it, and I'm going to keep using it here, at least for now. Right. What else do we need to know?
Wow.
It's the Six of Cups reversed. And so this could be about, really strong feelings from our past with people we cared about that maybe we've moved away from, but some of that memory is still there. And I think that could be the idea, is that a lot of this is still driven by our past connections of what we did feel, whether it was good or bad, perhaps. You got something else.
Well, I'm just kind of sad here thinking about all of this. I mean, if I took it on a political collective level, for example, in the U.S., the feelings of betrayal certain people could not get over the Watergate scandal, and prosecutions of people in their own party maybe plays a role in what is happening today politically. And I feel here, whatever, we have this toxicity may, in whatever we're dealing with here, may have its roots in the past.
Yes.
We see that some people, for example, in political power today, Watergate aside, are taking revenge on people who have hurt them in the past. Paybacks. And so, we also could see here that in our personal lives, if we have been harmed and hurt in the past, we are holding that energy and then projecting it out on others who really don't deserve that kind of pain from us, just because we experienced it.
So the shadow work of betrayal, amongst the other things we already said, is clearly influenced by our clinging to the past, or our inability to process or move on from the past. All right. So now we're going to see what the dark drama is. And the dark drama is...
As if this hasn't been enough.
Right, I know. It's always like one step beyond, right?
Yeah.
How others or outside events may actually be triggering us inadvertently or otherwise.
And that's just a tarot card.
Just
right?
a tarot card.
No. What is this about? How others or outside events may be
triggering. And what is that? The Emperor?
Yeah.
Power
and control.
Power and control. This is definitely true on that larger side of this.
On the one hand, since it is a positive, there may be people or forces, even within yourself, that are feeling that they are doing the right thing for the good of all, etc. I think here, though, even though this is a positive card, this is a false narrative. I think here that everybody thinks they're doing it for the good of others, that others, but they're not. And it's about power and control. In a collective sense, we can clearly see that. In our personal life, when we are betrayed, or when we betray others because of our betrayal, we are trying to exert our power over them. And manipulate them. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. And a lot of times we want to see the Emperor in that positive light, but falling into this particular position, it's very tempting to use that colloquialism, the Emperor has no clothes. This could also be talking about people who don't realize what they're really doing on some level, and only think they're doing the right thing, and they're actually causing all these other behaviors. Some of this could be influenced by the counsel they keep. The Emperor always seems to seek advice of others, whether or not they're actually going to use it. So it's very interesting, I think.
It's really funny this came up in the dark drama, and I kind of feel it's saying that the Emperor, this kind of energy, is the producer of a dark drama. They're the producer of it. This idea of power. Yeah, of power over. And it's a way that we can kind of, it's the only way we know, the people who have felt betrayed and are projecting that on others. It's the only way they know how to respond and how to feel they have control in their lives.
And there's that thing too about the sense of feeling very entitled, that emperors and people who gravitate towards that, they are not able to see themselves as somebody else. They think they are unaccountable.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on then to the dark truth. And the dark truth is what we really must accept with all of this. So we're going to read from
the
warning section of the oracle, and then we'll pull a tarot card.
When you feel that I am with you, when you hear my voice whispering in your ear or screaming at you never to trust anyone and urging you to try to find signs of deep manipulation in small details, take a break. Ask yourself, what is the root cause of your unbalanced suspicion and what you need to create new inner serenity. Questioning someone's true intentions may sometimes be justified. Clearly, it does. But when you do it systematically, it locks you away in a dark, forbidding cell. And that's true. I just want to keep this out as we do the tarot card. But just speaking about this, I would say that, that's the stage we are at as a collective. We don't trust each other. We do not trust anything we're hearing anymore. We don't trust the media. There's no place we don't even trust our medical, our scientists and our doctors anymore. We don't trust people. And it just seems as though the present environment is fueling more distrust all the time. And I feel like in our personal affairs, this is clearly bleeding over. I mean, we've always had betrayals in our lives to deal with of different sorts, but now it just seems as though we're allowing them to make everybody out to be the enemy.
And something you said reminded me a little bit of some of the ideas that are expressed in a book or a pamphlet called Antagonist in the Church, about how people may gaslight others in order to achieve their new status. And the basic concept I wanted to mention was how people don't know how to be honest partners or how to understand whether someone else is their honest partner. We don't have honest partners that we feel we can trust. This is a big part of why we feel the sense of betrayal.
Oh.
So what is the tarot? What is the other possible thing we have to accept from the Erethereal Shadow Work Tarot? It's the Five of Wands? Is that what it is?
Yes. It's the Five of Wands.
Yeah, that's good.
Wow. Let me move it up just a little. Wow. Well, what do we have to wait a minute, what do we have to accept? Well, we have to accept that there's always going to be differences of opinion, but we should listen instead of feel betrayed by that, and feel that everybody's the enemy just because they don't agree with you. Or we also have to realize that confrontations can get ugly sometimes too. They can get ugly. And, sometimes you really have to stand up and fight against those who are betraying you. You can't just sit back and take it. You have to be ready to stand up for your beliefs and who you are. There's a danger here, either way. This is an interesting card, again, in this position.
And it actually, plays in a sense to what I just mentioned about the honest partners, that the Five of Wands represents the idea, I think, that you have to maybe examine others or other aspects of self and realize what is really honest for you. Are you lying to yourself? Are other people lying to you and contributing to that sense of betrayal?
I feel like there's so much energy in this card here, and things that could be the things that could be said about it. Like, for example, are you in battle with yourself? I think this idea of betrayal and thinking everybody is your enemy, or that you need to fight, fight, fight all the time, might be in conflict, because there's an internal conflict raging inside of you as well. So I often feel that people who betray others, they're not happy people. There's something roiling inside of them that is causing this. And obviously, from what we see here, it's from something rooted deep from your past. Yeah.
Make no mistake, some of us and or the collective groups that this may apply to need some serious work on this, some serious reflection and consideration, possibly even professional for some.
Absolutely. When they talked about in one of the things here about narcissistic tendencies or behaviors, that's a trigger for me that, maybe some outside intervention may be necessary. All right.
We're moving on to the dark gift. Not all is hopeless. What hidden abilities, powers, resources, or an aspect of yourself can help you cope with this? And it's just taken from the tarot. So we have...
It's the Knight of Swords. Wow.
I like the court cards coming out because I think the court cards can represent energies that are maybe avatar-like, that maybe we can try to put ourselves into as a way of correcting things.
Well, I think the Knight of Swords just, reason. Reason has to prevail here, and logic. The moves that you make should be well calculated and thought out and, carefully researched. I mean, for example, on a collective level, just to take what somebody says in a social media post, for example, as truth, well, that's a problem. That's a real big problem. You need to filter this more. And you need to filter your behavior more and how you respond to things. What hurt you in the past should not inform your moves in your present situation. I mean, what you should have done is learn from it, not repeat the behaviors. I guess I want to say it that way. And so you really need to use your head here and think about what you're doing and why, and what's really behind it. Is it the true, authentic you that is doing this behavior, or is it the hurt inner you that can't let go of what happened to you when you were betrayed in the past?
The qualities of this gift in the Knight of Swords are what you need to, empower yourself with. The Knight is known for swiftly moving to challenge something. And so this is saying your gift really is to not let the things that attack that or to give you that betrayal, like here it goes again, just lay there, confront it swiftly and with as much precision as you can.
And on a collective level, there's no placating this. There's no placating this. There's action needs to be taken. And you can't placate and accept betrayal as a part of life, manipulation as a part of your life. You have to confront it.
So finally, we move to the dark destiny or the dark light marriage. And that is, how can we begin working on integrating these shadow and light qualities? So for that, we will read from the moving forward section of the Cries of the Soul.
Well, it does stress, even if you feel you can't get through to people, communicate with people about whom you have doubts, expressing your feelings by explaining that you need to be reassured, given information on a situation. Write down all your suspicions regarding a particular person or situation. Then ask yourself whether those suspicions are based on fact or are only assumptions. If it's the latter, replace those assumptions with positive affirmations or questions you'd like to ask. Think about what you can do each week to help calm your mind, unwind, mind and take some time for yourself. The more you focus on positive thoughts, the more you'll create a positive relationship with me. And I like this. It's pretty, to me though, it's a little bit simplistic for the many complicated issues we're facing right now worldwide, or maybe even in some cases in our personal world and our personal life. I think here, but one thing is very clear. It does tie in quite nicely with that Knight of Swords there. Mr. O is pointing at that, and I have to agree. You have to think this through. You really have to rise above rhetoric in whatever form it takes, whether it's from, somebody's mouth to you, your friend, your family member, your lover who may be, betraying you, whatever the case may be. You have to not take these things at face value, but ask questions, get to the bottom of things, get to the heart of things. See how people also react when you ask questions. It's very important to try to find, the truth, or a truth that feels right to you.
So it's kind of a callback to, the Emperor qualities too, the idea that there is counsel or advice available to you. You may have to, really put on some filters to figure out, if there's any BS there, but basically that's what we have.
And if you are a betrayer and not the betrayed, you know what? Figure out where this is coming from. Before you do that action of slapping your wife or your husband, doing some unethical thing, ask yourself where this is coming from. It's time to question even yourself, and especially question yourself and your own motivations for the type of behavior you are doing.
Our final card for the Dark Destiny. And that basically is something else we may need to know about how we are integrating or can integrate.
It's the Four of Swords. Reversed. Which is kind of interesting here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's about integration. Yes, again. I think
it almost sounds like it's a call for maybe starting fresh and maybe reordering your life to remove certain things from it and really starting fresh all over again.
Recalibrate, realign. It's time to put your energy elsewhere. It's not putting your energy in betraying others, in harming yourself, in exhibiting power over behavior. Put your energy into constructively confronting this type of thing, whether it's within you, whether it's within our leaders, whether it's in your outside world with people you deal with every day. Another thing I did not touch upon here in all of this, but you can read between the lines, is when office politics rears its ugly head. This happens so much to people getting bullied and badgered either by their bosses or employees. And where is that coming from? It is a betrayal. It's a betrayal of trust. You're trying to do your best. You're trying to work hard, and people, start to pick on you or hold you back, for their own power over purposes. So consider where this is happening in your life and what this means to you. Clearly, I got this card as a collective card on Monday, and I have to say that even when I got that card, I felt that it was not just for Monday, it was for the week ahead. And so lo and behold, seeing this coming up for our Wednesday Goth Tarot is really kind of creepy. And also I said that whatever may happen in this week could have longer lasting reverberations. So we really need to take this to heart, and what Mr. O is going to present in the follow-ups in the weeks ahead.
Absolutely. And I was really thinking, that final card, in order to integrate, we just need to leave the past behind. That's that past there.
Yes.
We need to just clearly move ahead, engage with what works for us, with people that we know we can trust or can feel honesty between us. It's not going to be that easy, but we will be here to work on it.
Oh boy. This was interesting Goth Tarot.
I just have to say, I really do think that it works perfectly as both personal stuff and any number of collective issues or situations that we may find ourselves in.
So take care during these, difficult times.
Absolutely.
Collectively, but also, I wish you luck in dealing with issues like this if they are affecting you on a personal level. And Mr. O will be doing some wonderful follow ups, I'm sure. And so stay tuned for the rest of the month. And again, I enjoy being here on the first of the month with you.
Thank you, Banshee.
Thank you, Mr. O. And I'll see you in another month, and he'll see you next week.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye for now.